Hello, Ran here, aka Mac, and welcome. So recently we saw that CIG are working on landing zone security stations or custom stations. These are stations like what you would find at an airport where anyone entering that specific LZ will be scanned for any illegal items prohibited by that location. Currently we have an artificial armistice zone which automatically deactivates your weapons, both ship and FPS. This, I'm glad to hear, is not the intended method for the future. It's only for now to stop the griefing and pad camping. Now we only saw a little of what it looks like, but this is coming with the, well, I hope coming with the Lawville city located on the new planet coming 3.3, which is Hurston. The security station is currently in white boxing, so they're fleshing out the layout and the logistics of everything to ensure that players and NPCs can maneuver through it as well. And it's also to be the high security version, meaning that every landing location will have a varied degree of security, which we'll talk about that soon. So the way it will work is that you'll approach the scanner and you'll likely get prompted to walk slowly through, at which point the scanner will scan you and detect whether you've got any items deemed prohibited in that location. Now they did say that if you should have something on you, they'll stop you and ask you to give it up. Obviously if you comply, then you can drop the item in a box or hand it to them and carry on through. If you decide not to, then they said that you'll face the consequences. It was also mentioned that skilled players may have the ability to circumvent security and smuggle something in. Now, this little snippet of info we got on ATV got me thinking more into the gameplay we can expect just from security stations alone. Also the level of security, the items classed as illegal, and what would actually happen should you decide to keep the item instead of handing it over. So in terms of levels of security, as previously stated, what we saw was a high-level security custom station. I expect in most major landing locations like Lawville on Hurston or Area 18 on Artcore for example, anywhere that has a big hub of activity, I would expect to see a high security station. Most of these locations will prohibit things like weapons of any kind and be very strict on its punishments. Now smaller locations or areas not in the UEE control will most likely have a varying degree of security from high to possibly just non-existent. Low security areas will likely be areas where you can carry weapons, but if you have seen drawing a firearm may cause a problem or gain you some attention. And in pirate areas or places on the fringes of space, security could just be non-existent and you often see people getting shot over disputes, so I would suggest being careful in those areas. Now, just like security, each landing location will have its own rules and laws, and what one LZ determines as illegal may be okay somewhere else. So understanding and finding out these rules before entering may save you some unfortunate standoffs when trying to enter. Typical differences could be something like weapons or types of weapons. Some LZs would expect you to hand over the weapon and pick them up as you leave, whereas others may be okay with you walking around with the weapon holstered. But certain drugs, maybe some types of alcohol or herbs or whatever, might be seen as prohibited as well. Again, it's something you need to learn before going. Now, when they said that skilled players will be able to circumvent security and smuggle goods in, this will delve into the smuggling career. As with any career, they want them to be skill-based. You have to learn the best practices in hiding items and how to get them through security and noticed to be good at smuggling. Something we saw a while ago, I'll try and find the footage for this, was the ability to take a handheld radar and open up the back where the battery compartment is and then place contraband in there, allowing you to smuggle it in. So it's not going to be an obvious hiding hole in a ship, because obviously when players board they'll know exactly where your hiding holes are. They need to be a bit more clever with it. And smuggling items past real players compared to AI may require a little more cunning, but the chances are the landing zone's security will be most likely AI NPCs, unless players can maybe do a shift for them, I don't know. But that is something when they work on smuggling further we'll hear more about. This also means that paying good money to someone, be it a player or an NPC, to bring you in a prohibited item, like a weapon so that you can potentially conduct a hit, or an item requested by a mission giver, could be a way around it. But also players who are adept at smuggling can earn some good credits, and if you're very good, you can charge a higher premium for smuggling items in. Now finally we come to punishment. Little is known to exactly how CIG plan to handle the crime and punishment. We do know there will be prisons planetside and potentially in space. It has also been said that if players are caught, they will have to spend time in prisons and serve their time. But what happens if you refuse to give up the contraband or maybe put a weapon on someone in a landing zone? Well, this would be determined obviously on how the security is handled at each location. Hurston, for example, if this is the first location we see it, has its own private security force, like with all the planets in the Stanton system. Although it's still tied to the UEE, the security at Lawville will likely answer to the megacorp of Hurston Dynamics. If you refuse to give up an item, I expect you will be arrested. If you resist arrest, then the security will have to take appropriate action and either incapacitate you or shoot you depending on the severity of your actions. Also, within landing locations, security will vary. Some may have official police or private security forces patrolling, other places may just have cameras or camera turrets, and some areas may just have nothing at all. But I am very, very much looking forward to learning more in terms of crime and punishment, as this sort of sneaks into the bounty system as well, which will definitely make for some fun incidents around landing locations if your friend's trying to go through customs and he hits the wrong button and then refuses arrest, and yeah, all hell breaks loose. But anyway, that's all I've got. When I saw the white box of the security stations, I was pleased to hear they were planning to move away from the armistice zones and go to a more nuanced system. It will generate some excellent gameplay and decisions in many areas of Star Citizen when this comes in, so long as we're not queuing up for hours to get through security. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys. Do tell me your thoughts on this. What do you like about it? What don't you like about it? Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on the Star Citizen content. Follow me over on Twitch, twitch.tv/supermacbrothers Ryan, and I'll catch you later.